Welcome back. We are live with the NAACP, and I am just so happy that on May 21st, right? May 21st, 2021, I get to share this beautiful clip of my second mother, Mayor Eula Clarke, who did her thing live during the celebration for the Emancipation Day. That literally is like a second Juneteenth. For those that wonder, what is Juneteenth in IA? Well, Juneteenth basically is the same thing as Emancipation Day. See, when you have racist people that think that they can overpower a community and keep the people enslaved, what happens is the world finds out and the world does this thing called it revolts. And so with the Emancipation Day that took place literally on May 20th, just yesterday, in the heart of Stuart, Florida, what happened was a lot of people were still enslaved after they were freed, just like Juneteenth. Juneteenth happens to be, I want to say June 19th every year. And that only started taking place only within the past 2 decades or so. It might have been really significant prior to that, but when NAACP found out about it, it was obviously, within the past 2 decades or so. So I feel like before these past 2 decades, a lot of people did not know about Juneteenth, just like they did not know about this special day, which is Emancipation Day. So with that being said, I just had to come on live and just talk very briefly with you guys about something, and it's called freedom. And it's literally, I want you all to understand this, right? When it comes to our people, when it comes to strength, when it comes to pride, I want you Black people, especially out there, to remember something, that we as a community, we have overcome so much. We have built so much. We have labored so much. We have fed the children, the master's children, with our breast milk to the point where we had no milk for our own babies. And tonight, as I'm recovering from like a month of straight hardcore, like busyness and, traveling and events after events, I'm proud again to be a Black woman. I'm proud again to stand up tall and let my voice be heard. And the reason being is because too many of us forget what our ancestors have been through. Too many of us do not even know what our ancestors have been through. So many of us think that we're still free. And I don't discount anybody that still thinks that we're free. You know why? Or I don't discount anybody that doesn't understand our history, because at the end of the day, we have been bamboozled so much. We've been taught to hate ourselves so much that we as a Black people, we as a beautiful Black community, we do not comprehend self-love. We do not comprehend loving each other and being there for one another. And it's a pain that was inflicted upon us many, many years ago. Many, 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 many years ago. And why do I come on live as much as possible? I'm supposed to come on 5 nights a week, but sometimes I miss a day or two because of my extracurricular activities. It's not my fault, but it's just like, why do I do what I do? Well, it's easy. Because when I became woke, when I found out what it means to be a beautiful Black queen, what it means to be a part of history, because obviously my sister Aisha Wilson tells me I'm a part of history now, doing what I do for the Haitian people, and I'm excited. I hope my name, the whole Anaya A brand, is literally labeled in the books, because I've worked so hard to stand up for justice, for peace, for harmony, for love, and it would be a crying shame if somebody doesn't record my history, but I'm gonna have my history recorded either way. But nonetheless, the reason I share that is for this main purpose here. We as a people have to understand our greatness. So shouts out and chapeau bas for Mayor Honorable Madam Eula Clarke, who stood up against the grain and put this event together with the NAACP, which happens to be the president of the NAACP, Jimmy Smith. And they stood together and they gave the keys to the city to the attorney, Willie Gary, who tells his story of how he grew up so impoverished, didn't have much of anything. And he got a job working at a hotel many, many years ago on the waters of Stuart. As far as your eye can see, it's nothing but pure, beautiful blue waters. And when he first started working at that hotel many years ago in the heart of Stuart, the manager that worked at the time basically would call him the N word, Nigger. And he would constantly call him the N word. I'm talking about when that white boy used to call, Willie Gary the N word and tell him to go sweep the floors, go sweep the floors, go throw out the garbage, Nigger. And Willie Gary hated that. Willie Gary hated the fact that he was called this word, this degrading word, because for those that don't understand, the N word is not a term of endearment. It's derogatory. And we have to eradicate this word out of our systems. We were taught to hate ourselves and hate the people that we are, the beautiful brown and dark skin and Black children under the sun that we are. And Willie Gary hated that white boy would call him the N word. And years later, Willie Gary would stop working at that, hotel, and he would go off to educate himself. And Willie Gary would go and work hard to be an educated Black man, a Black man in South Florida, raising the bar, literally. And Willie Gary would turn out to be an attorney. And Willie Gary came back to that same rusty, crusty hotel. And you want to know what he did? He bought that hotel. He bought that hotel with every employee still working there. And the way Willie Gary told that story, the day that I stood there in Willie Gary's office amongst my peers, amongst the congressmen at the time, Patrick Aaron Murphy, and the Blacks and the whites of the who's who of the Stuart and Port St. Lucie and Treasure Coast community. And as Willie Gary stood there and shared the story, he had a phrase that he utilized. I want to say it was be patient, or was it wait your turn, or keep fighting, or whatever it was that Willie Gary said, because this is almost a decade ago. And I just stood there because I never thought a day in my life would come that I would be standing in the presence of giants. And Willie Gary shared the story with so much strength and so much power. And by the end of the story, as he was the person to buy the hotel, he told the new person that had to sweep the floors to go to that same white manager and tell him that the Nigger, head Nigger in charge, said, "You're fired." See, revenge is mine, saith the Lord. Revenge is mine, saith the Lord. See, today, you may crap on somebody. You may shit on somebody, like they like to say. You may talk down to somebody because you think that they have no value in your eyes. The same people you talk down to today, let me fix myself real quick before I say this, is the same person that may be above you tomorrow. See, a lot of times in life, people are so haughty. They think they got it going on. Hey, Canova. Hey, Sister Howard, Mrs. Howard. A lot of people think they got it going on because of their skin color or their body frame or their intellect or, whoever their daddy is or mama is or whatever. They feel like they can talk down to people. They feel like nobody can tell them nothing. They feel like they're on top of the world and feel like They don't have anybody to answer to. Let me fix the boobies real quick. Let me fix the girls so they could be even. But what happens is in life is this. We don't know what tomorrow holds, y'all. Don't none of us know what tomorrow holds. See, when Willie Gary shared that story in his office, and I stood there in the same office that I always dreamed that I could be in, not in a sexual way, not bent over on nobody's desk, nothing like that, because a lot of freaks out there and a lot of bastards out there may think something nasty as to why would I want to be in Willie Gary's office. It's because for years prior to that moment, I had known of Willie Gary. I had heard of his story. I knew he was the most wealthy Black man in that Stuart community. I knew that Willie Gary was running the Treasure Coast, and his name had hit all over the world. But to stand in his office that day amongst peers and giants and the congressmen and the mayors and the elites of the Treasure Coast, I stood there and I listened to the attorney, they call him the giant killer, Willie Gary, and I held back my tears. Because who was I? A little Haitian American from Brooklyn who educated herself but never reached that level of success, because at every turn, the doors would close in my face, or I would be struck with a rare medical condition, or I would have to fight for my life as I was abused physically and emotionally and mentally and spiritually. And every time I turned around, I had another fight. But that day I stood there in the Honorable Willie Gary's office and I regained my strength. Because as he told the story, I recalled that I was never nasty to anybody. And I tried my very freaking best to love those around me and never to just attack anybody's character or put anybody down as the person I knew to be. I wanted us to be equal as a people. And I did everything that I could to show love, but none of that mattered, because no matter how much love you show, sometimes people are prone to being who they are. And more than likely, if they're hateful from the beginning, they'll be hateful towards the end. And so that day, I remember standing up even taller. And I remembered holding up my head high, because anything is possible. How does one who used to clean the cornfields or pick cotton and grow up in poverty turn around to be the most successful attorney and buying the hotel he once worked in? That they called him the NIGGER word in. And I remember thinking that really and truly anything is possible. So friends and family, as I close tonight, and as I remember that story, and as I got that video clip of Emancipation Day celebration in Stuart this morning, I'm proud. I'm proud of my race. I'm proud to be a Black woman today. Some days I'm not so proud, because some days our people do so much stupid stuff that I say, I want to just erase this brown off of my skin and I want to start all over. I don't care if I'm green. I don't care if I'm purple. I don't care if I'm even yellow. But then there are days like today where I can say that I am proud again. Because who would have thought that the only Black woman mayor in the state of Florida, the Jamaican mayor, Eula Clarke, would be able to be held in such high esteem as she tells her story of her humble beginnings. And now look at her today, and they bashed this woman. People didn't believe this woman. People talk bad about this woman, but that's the same woman that has the heart of gold and who would sit next to me in my hospital room as I was broken with stitches in my forehead, or as I would sit there living in the most horrible conditions because I was not safe in my own home. And she would pick me up and drive me to one event after another. And we would share love and jokes and we would laugh, and she would remind me to keep fighting. Today, I am proud again to be a Black woman. Friends and family, if you want to be great, if you have a desire to be amazing, be successful, but never forget your humble beginnings. Surround yourselves with those that have made it. I'm not saying to use or abuse anybody, but I want to remind you that successful people, they care, they give back, they pay it forward. I want to remind you that those who have made it to the top from humble and hard beginnings, more than likely will want you to make it as well. Stay away from the negative Nancys or the evil Ednas or the wicked Walters or those that can't do anything for you but hate on you. And anytime you try to get to the next level, they shit on you. Stay away from them because they mean you no good. Tonight, I am proud again to be a Black woman because I've seen how far so many of us have come. And although we have a long way to go, I want to remind each and every one of you to go out there and be your very best. And as I close, because I have a very early morning tomorrow, I want to say thank you, God. Thank you, God, that those people that are fighting the fight of faith, and the Jimmy Stewarts and the Jimmy Smiths of the Stuart community and of Palm City and the NAACPs and those that are freedom fighters, they keep giving back. They keep working. So if they're working still, I want to remind each and every one of you to continue to work, because we cannot give up this fight of faith. We cannot. So tonight I'm going to replay the Emancipation Day celebration event that made it to the news, where my second mother, Honorable Madam Eula Clarke, is featured and sharing about the history of Stuart and how the Emancipation Day celebration is the new Juneteenth for so many. And I want to remind each and every one of you that tomorrow, your girl Anaya A will not be at the National Action Network because I have a fight for Haiti that must go forward. And I will be attending an event in Queens tomorrow morning for Haiti. So if you want more information about that, inbox me now and you'll find out more details about where I'll be tomorrow morning. But I will not be at the National Action Network in the morning because my fight for Haiti is ongoing. And we say no to the referendum. We say no to the murders. We say no to the killings. We say no to the rapings. We say no to the kidnappings. And until there's no more violence, I will not stop. So for those that stand up with me, I need your prayers. I need your support. I need your financial contributions. I'm not ashamed to beg because the work that I do is nonstop. And if you see me not on sometimes live, don't think I'm not working, guys. It's because I got to take a break as well sometimes, right? But next week, you will see a lot more from my past few weeks. And I will try to post up at least some pictures tonight again. I will start off by posting the pictures that we have after the wedding, where myself and my husband spent time with the Honorable Mayor Eula Clarke and a few friends, like the one and only president of the NAACP, Mr. Reverend Jimmy Smith, and my sister, who came all the way from Mount Vernon to be with us for the wedding, Totney. And we also have my big bro from Atlanta, Mr. Raymel Tanner, who came all the way in from Atlanta. And we got to celebrate our last moments together on the beach of Stuart, Florida, as well as on the boardwalk. So without further ado, I want to share that I am blessed and highly favored this evening to know each one of you, to be surrounded by your love and your participation. I need all of your support because the work does not quit. If you want to know where I'll be in the morning, just hit up my line, inbox me, call me, whatever. I'll be up for just another hour because I have to go to sleep and be refreshed. Refreshed, I say, for tomorrow morning because the fight continues for Haiti. Haiti pas péri. Nous shall napwe victoire quand même, quand même, quand même. Napkume. La union fait la force. So if you want to be a part of the fight tomorrow in Queens, you let me know and I'll send you the details. In the meantime, I will not be at the National Action Network in the morning. So please tell Rev I send my love, but Haiti needs me tomorrow morning. And with that being said, I thank you for your contributions. Send any kind of donations you need to Anaya A. That Cash App is the Anaya A Show, THEANIYAASHOW. Again, Cash App, number symbol, THEANIYAASHOW. That's the Cash App. Send that ASAP. I love you. Here is that beautiful moment in the news in regards to the Emancipation Day event celebration live in the heart of Stuart, Florida. And let me go ahead and click on that because it played and then something happened. So give me 1 second as we figure it out. Let's go to replay. And I want to thank you again for your contributions
Cities across Florida are
the
pausing
NAACP
for
show.
Emancipation Day. In 1865,
Watch now.
black slaves in Florida learned that they were free 2 years after President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation.
While most of the United States will celebrate the end of slavery with the holiday Juneteenth, historians and the NAACP in Martin County are advocating for emancipation to be celebrated across Florida on this day. WPTV News Channel 5's Arthur Monge went to Stuart to learn why.
They became teachers, political figures, leaders in the community.
Inside the Stuart Heritage Museum, you can trace a lot of roots. Giving today's tour, two people with veins that run deep.
Father had a lumber yard here in Stuart for 50 years, and we employed probably about 10 black workers.
Mary Walton Jones says possibly descendants of slaves from North Florida who helped build Stuart and created a new life in Stuart.
They came here, they cleared a lot of the land, they did a lot of the hard labor.
But this story isn't focused on legacy and contributions only, but the actual day Florida slaves were free.
May 20th, I think May 20th too. This is Florida Emancipation Day.
Most people know on January 1st, 1863, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, freeing enslaved people. It wasn't until May 1865 that Union Brigadier General Edward M. McCook arrived in Tallahassee to declare the Emancipation Proclamation in effect in Florida.
It's special, and it's going to signify different things to different people.
Mayor Clarke joins mayors in Tallahassee and Jacksonville who celebrate Emancipation Day on May 20th.
It's in the book.
Look at where we come from and what we're still
Go,
doing.
President
Mayor
Jimmy,
Clarke
go.
and Martin County's NAACP held a commemorative ceremony in East Stuart with official reading of the Emancipation Proclamation. They call it a new tradition with historical value.
Also should be a push to have our legislatures recognize one day.
Florida Senate Bill 490 would make Juneteenth a legal holiday, but there's still nothing on the books for Emancipation Day. Arthur
Mondale, WCTV, News Channel 5.
All right, you heard live from the people of Stuart, Florida, in regards to Emancipation Day. And we have a second video coming up. Hold on. Let's see. There's a second
Identical
one.
twins from Baton Rouge, Louisiana are
Oh.
setting the bar high for students everywhere.
Nope, that's not it. There was a second clip for Emancipation Day out of, I want to say, Emancipation Day in Orlando. Let's do a quick search and then I'm going to shut it down because earlier it played right behind Emancipation Day Orlando. Let's see what comes up because that was the second one that popped right up. Here it goes. I found it. Let's play that live.
All new at 5:30, a group of historians gathered outside the Orlando City Hall this
I'm so
afternoon
proud of
to
my people.
recognize and honor this day in history.
So today, May 20th, marks the anniversary of when slavery became illegal here in Florida. And now one local city commissioner says more people should learn about this historic day as the fight for equality for all people continues. Here's News 6's Jerry Askin.
This is the day that the freedom bells ring in Florida.
Richard Wilder was one of many historians outside the Orlando City Hall who wanted to recognize the importance of May 20th here in Florida.
The whole of Florida should celebrate. Today is Emancipation Day, May 20th.
These men dressed as members of the United States Colored Cavalry, a regiment of the U.S. Army during the Civil War, and pointed out that some black men traveled alongside a Union general to Florida back in 1865, all to enforce that all slaves should be free. This coming after President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation 2 years before.
An act of justice warranted by the Constitution.
A lot of people are trying to celebrate the emancipation, and one of the things they use is Juneteenth, but that doesn't apply to the state of Florida. Emancipation Proclamation in the state of Florida is May 20th.
From slavery to emancipation, here inside the Orange County Regional History Center, we got a better idea of what it was like for Black families here in Central Florida. It's history that may not be widely known to some people, but it's also history that many people say more of us should know about.
More of us
Orlando
should
City
know.
Commissioner Bakari Burns helped organize the Emancipation Recognition event.
Because we need to be factual when we're teaching our next generation about the history and what has happened here in Florida.
This all coming after recent protests
That's
across
right.
Central Florida, and as we approach 1 year after George Floyd was killed next week.
I think it's an opportunity for us to have these discussions about what does emancipation truly mean to us, and what do we need to do next.
In Orlando, Jerry Askin, getting results, News 6.
My name is Lori Arnold.
All right, so you guys heard it right then and there, where we talked with, well, we didn't talk with anybody actually, but they were on the news discussing the Emancipation Day celebration. You guys got to take a look at that for yourselves. I'm so proud. I'm so proud of these beautiful people. And you know, one of the things I wanted to highlight real quick is the fact that all this seems to be coming up after George Floyd. I think it's been a revolution ever since George Floyd. I've been telling people that people are not the same anymore, even throughout, you know, South Florida. I realized when I was just there, you know, within the past couple of weeks, that the climate is different. I mentioned that. Welcome, Gregory Roberts. I see you on Instagram, my love. Listen, the climate is different when it comes to racist, you know, people and that whole old good old boys thinking and what have you. I mentioned that because, you know, when I was in Florida this last time, people were like kind of nice. These white people were like nice or whatever. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And then I remember George Floyd and the impact it made on white America. And this is literally an observation that I made. And I'm so happy that I could feel the difference, because a lot of people may think I'm bugging, but nowadays, when you go into the stores, you know, and everything like that in South Florida, things are very different. And I'm very happy about that. So I wanted to say that. And last but not least, I wanted to share that we lost a soldier in the movement just yesterday as well. You know, my sister, Aisha Wilson's grandmother, Valerie Wilson's mother, has gone to be with the ancestors. And I call her Auntie Tommy. And Miss Thomasina was a fixture in my life for a couple of years. I'm not gonna hold you. We never met face to face because since I've known of her, she, was not feeling very well. However, I would love seeing her beautiful smile. As Mommy Valerie would go and visit her in the, nursing homes and things of that nature. And so we have lost a strong one. She's the backbone of that family. And I spent the day with my sister Aisha yesterday, and something very mystical occurred yesterday. Aisha Wilson is somebody that loves our people. She's been fighting on the front lines of the National Action Network for over 20 years, side by side with her beautiful mother, Valerie. And I want to say my condolences to them live on the NAACP show, and that I am here for whatever they need. Next week, you'll see a lot more of Aisha and me together in South Florida. Mommy Valerie, I'm here. I love you. Smith Georges, Aisha remembers you, Smith, from, our Haitian Flag Day event in Harlem a couple of years ago. Her grandmother has passed on. Smith, thank you so much for your love, Smith Georges. That's my right-hand man, Mr. Smith Georges, has been on the front lines fighting. Smith, I literally am so, happy that you're here tonight, because I was going to close out with how amazing, again, the event went just a couple of days ago on May 18th. And, honestly, Aisha Wilson and Valerie Wilson would have been there with us. Thank you, Gregory Roberts. Aisha and Valerie would have been with us. However, Aisha's grandmother, Auntie Tommy, we call it Auntie Tommy, was very ill in the nursing home, and she had to have multiple surgeries and things like that. But Smith, Aisha remembers you. She's happy. Matter of fact, Smith, do you want to come on live for the last couple of minutes of this show? Because I told the people I can't be at NAN tomorrow. We have something that we're doing in Queens tomorrow. Smith, I'm going to drop the link. Just come on, please. I need Smith to come on as my co-host this evening, just for a few minutes. I know Smith is probably busy, but let me try to just get him to come on to tell us why we're fighting for Haiti real quick. Smith, I want to invite you on. I know you're a busy guy, and that's why, I just left you alone earlier. But since you're here, if there's a way that Smith Georges can jump in and share last closing remarks as to why we are fighting so hard for Haiti, Smith, please come on. Here's the link right there, Smith. Please, if you can, jump on real quick, my dear, if you can, because I want the people to know who you are in my life and why we are fighting for Haiti so much. So Smith, if you can possibly jump on, please, that's the Zoom link. I want you to talk to the people about Haiti and the fight right now. We've had several people watching this evening, but typically my Friday nights are not as popping. But Smith, if you can come on live right now, that's the Zoom link. Please click on, Smith. The reason being is because I want the people to know, that we are fighting for Haiti hard. And to give a quick recap of what we just did on May 18th, which was just a couple of days ago. So Smith, if you can, jump on here with me. The Zoom link is right there. I would love for you to share a few words with the viewers, because the people have been watching. We had this show shared over 100 times already. We have people watching on Instagram and on Facebook presently. We have many different people, between the National Action Network to other new contributors and people that are watching that are live with us right now, Smith. So if you can, definitely jump on right now. If you cannot, I understand, but I'm here to let you know, Smith, and for everybody watching tonight, that, we as a community have to stand up for Haiti. Tomorrow morning, we will be in Queens, and I wanted Smith to share a couple of words as to why we're saying no to the referendum, why we're saying no to the murdering and killings. I mean, obviously, you don't need to know why we're saying no to killings, murderings, kidnappings, rapings, etc., because those are the obvious. But why are we saying no to the referendum, Smith? I would love for you to partake in that, with us. Again, if you cannot, I will get it, but I definitely set that link there, Smith, for you to share or for you to participate and join with us. However, Smith, if you can't come on tonight, let's planify for you to come on another night, because it's so imperative that the people understand why we're fighting together hand in hand. And I want the people to know why, that, you know, why I do what I do, why you do what you do, Smith, and why we had such a successful event. Smith, chapeau bas. I have my fan here, guys, so don't think I'm on drugs or anything. I have my fan and it's blowing because it's getting warm again. But Smith, chapeau bas pour toi. You kicked butt. Oh, I know you would love to, but no problem. Okay, so Smith can't come on tonight, but you already know I've been shouting you out, Smith. I've been reposting everything that you've shared. We had a great lineup, and maybe next week, Smith, and we can go live together. But I will be in Queens tomorrow morning early. So since Smith can't come on presently, no worries. What we'll do is we'll shut it down now, and we will be back. We will be back for sure, at the same black time, same black space next week, Monday through Friday. I thank each and every one of you. And I wanted to play a song in honor of Mommy Thomasina, Grandma Thomasina, aka Auntie Tommy. However, every time I play any songs that, you know, Facebook picks up, it shuts down my platform. So what I'll do is I'll play this last show song, and then I will end the live platform, and then I'll come back and I'll leave a message. In the meantime, thank you to all of those supporters that are out there. Tomorrow, again, if you want to be a part of what we're working on for Haiti, listen, DM me, send me a message, let me know that you want to be a part of tomorrow's manifestation that will be taking place in the heart of Queens. And I will definitely send you that information for sure. And what else? I guess that's all I have to share for now. We kicked butt on May 18th with all of the elected officials, with Smith George's, Mike Eleanord, of course, Dr. Fayette Theodore, Similien, Simi was a part of that amazing event as well, who stood with us. Sal Baltazar, Sal stood up with us. I'm screwing up his name. Sal was amazing as well. My husband showed up at the very last minute. That was a blessing, though, to see my husband again show up for your girl for another wonderful event, another wonderful production. And at this time, there's so many other people. Oh, Dr. Exume from the, you know, the group HLF, Haitian Leadership Forum. He showed up and he was a great and a tremendous help. I mean, all of you, Dr. Umar, thank you again. We will be back next week, guys. Same black time, same black space. But check out my feed tomorrow, because more than likely I will be going live, you know, at my location in the heart of Queens. So with that being said, I will book Smith to be live with me next week as well. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Cash App your girl, THEANIYAASHOW. I'll put that link in a moment. I love each and every one of you. Good night.
We're gonna take our turn. my conscience clear. The blue sky's got a star I should be standing on. It's my turn and I'm ready to take the world on. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna rule the world. Rule the world. We're gonna take our time. We're gonna rule the world. It's our time. Our time to fly. We're gonna take our turn. We're gonna rule the world. 'Cause it's our time. Our time to fly. It's our time to fly. It's our time to change. We don't need a reason why. Let's make a change. Get past this noon. Now we're on the move. Nothing we know to we're off to rule the world. We're off to rule. We gon' rule the world.
Good night, everybody. I love you, Mommy Valerie and Sister Aisha. Good night, everybody.